It's EDDBUD, running reporter here. It's time for a running news update. Let's go for it. Thanks for joining me on the channel. We've had a huge new subscriber intake recently. I do thank you. If you haven't done so yet, help us out by hitting that subscribe button, but also clicking the bell below for notifications when I roll them out for you. Also give this video a thumbs up like and share it with your running buddies. Help support the channel too on an ad hoc basis by hitting us with a super thanks. Thanks. News story 1. I have noticed a huge increase recently in new shoes which are specifically designed for females. Some great women's designs that are unique and feature some much needed updates. Not a lot of shoe designs take into account that women's feet are quite different to men's. Women typically have a wider forefoot and a much narrower heel than men. This holds up too because the distribution of weight for women tends to be a little bit further forward than men. You're going to need a different shoe last if you're going to make a shoe specifically for women's feet. You can't just rely on scaling down a men's last and make it work for women. It just doesn't work that way. I think the shape will probably be slightly more triangular rather than for men it's more rectangular. As such, I find it astounding that manufacturers are only just doing this in 2022. Why has it taken so long to design shoes with a slightly narrower heel that will enhance the lockdown that women get when utilising a running shoe? Why is it that manufacturers have failed to create designs that have got a wider forefoot also? We've seen Adidas use data on women's feet to redesign the Ultra Boost model recently, and Puma also figuring out that they need to move into that market as well with a more tailored design for women's feet. Under Armour also are in the ballpark with their new Under Armour Flow Synchronicity shoe. If you're a woman and you've been struggling along for ages utilising shoes that just simply don't seem to fit right, let me know down in the comments. Story 2. Puma have launched a range of sustainable offerings including running shoes and apparel. The first mile version of the Puma Velocity Nitro 2 features a 50% recycled upper. I think it's mainly made of recycled bottles, so they're collecting these together and making a yarn which makes up part of the upper. I think all this plastic waste is collected in areas like Taiwan, Haiti and Honduras, and in turn they recycle it and turn it into a yarn they can use to make new products. The first mile scheme started by Puma provides jobs and positive social impacts to societies in these areas, which is another long overdue occurrence, going back to story number 1. Of course, we had the fantastic nitro foam here in this version of the shoe, along with that EVA layer, and you just can't go wrong with a gum outsole, especially when it's Puma grip. Some of the best traction going on a running shoe right now. The first mile scheme has also been put into action to make some running apparel as well. We've got some shorts, shirts, hats and running tights. Do check these out on Puma's website right now. There are some discounts available, certainly in the UK. You can pick up a bargain and assist in that positive social and environmental action. I will have a review very soon of this shoe plus some of the running apparel Puma have fired over to me to test out. Story 3. It seems as if the Nike delivery boat has finally made its way over to the UK with a whole clutch of releases over the last few days. There's a retail version of the ALPHAFLY NEXT % 2 in a mint, vault and coconut milk flavour. That's dropped on the app for members only at the moment, but I should imagine it will drop for everyone else very soon. A summer colourway, certainly one of my favourite shoes that I've reviewed this year so far. It really is a winner. The Zoomfly 5 has also dropped in the same colourway for around 145 Earth credits. I promptly grabbed that one for testing because people love the Zoomfly series. I haven't loved every model, I have to be honest, but this one's quite a departure from the rest. I'm keen to test out the crushed ZoomX foam along with that SRO2 foam carrier and unknown material plate that lies within the midsole. Is it carbon? Is it nylon? Well, we'll find out very soon. I'll be keen to see how it matches up against the Saucony Endorphin Speed 3 and maybe also the forthcoming Magic Speed 2 from ASICS. It's kind of bizarre that Nike is still offering the Zoomfly 4 at a higher price than the new one. But the Zoomfly 4 is certainly up on the Nike website here in the UK at least for 155 Earth credits. So try and work that one out. Obviously you've got an inferior midsole material in there, certainly in terms of weight and cushion. React's not for everybody. Some people love it. It was great in the Zoomfly Flyknit. If you've got any theories or answers to that one, let me know in the comments. Maybe it's slightly cheaper to make or something, I don't know. There's a full restock of some of Nike's track spikes as well. Maybe you want to pick up a pair of the Air Zoom Victory or the Max Fly as well. Both of those have appeared in this brand new colorway, ready for summer. Story 4. Later in the year, the Jordan 37 will drop with a carbon fiber shank plate and a double stacked forefoot Zoom Air strobel unit underfoot as well. It really is a whole candy shop full of Nike tech. There's also a new foam formula as well that they're experimenting with inside the Jordan 37. The mysterious Formula 23 foam is going to be deployed in the heel, which appears to be encased in a TPU mold or like a cup. There's very little information on this foam at all. I scoured around the net. There's a couple of other shoes that have been released with it, but no one seems to be particularly enthusiastic about it right now. It just says it's lightweight and it's responsive, but you know, they always say that about new foams, don't they? Of course, it's got to be sustainable too. That's the 3 key words right now. And I have noticed this foam's going to appear in the Luca 1 model that will launch in the near future. I think that foam's also been deployed in the Jordan Delta 3 SP, though it could be a dud, as I have heard some information that it's not really all that different to Lunarlon. Maybe they've just tinkered with the formula a little bit. I'm more interested in that double stacked Air Zoom strobel unit that they put into the forefoot of the shoe. Zoom Air still is one of the best, most resilient and reliable cushions you can get in a running shoe, and I'm sure at some point we will see it utilized in some sort of running shoe. It's just getting the right foam carrier to sort of encase it. I bet that's how they do it. It will be a really great training option if they can perhaps get a double stacked unit in there encased in some sort of much softer foam, perhaps like the SR02 stuff that we're going to see in the Zoomfly 5. That's all the running news this week. If I've missed out any good stories or you'd like to see something covered in a future episode, let me know using the email down in the description of this video. A musical interlude for you. Now, don't ask me how I got there, but I've been listening to Batman by Prince. So this came out in 1989. It looks like Prince was asked to write a couple of tunes for the film, but decided to just make a whole album's worth of material, though only a few bits of it actually appear in the film. It's a really interesting production style on this one, very full of energy. It's very lively, very sort of bright. There's lots of attention to detail there, lots of interesting guitar sort of soundscapes there. Key track for me is Party Man. This one always reminds me really of watching the NBA when I was younger, sort of late 80s stuff. Party Man's just an insanely funky tune. You can't help but feel like you want to strut down the street dressed in your Batman outfit. Bat Dance as well almost sounds like a hip-hop track really. Prince was one of those artists that could sort of turn his hand to all sorts of styles, different genres, and an exceptional guitar player. People only realised it perhaps once he was gone. Go and check it out. You might like some of it, you might not, but hey, that's what life's all about. Batman by Prince. Thanks for tuning in, people. It is always appreciated. Hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications when I launch more running news for you. Hit that like button and also share this video with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD and I'll be seeing you